Hi Weather Shield, Jim here again. Last week we talked about extend grace generously as our core behavior, and of course that fits under our care personally umbrella. I want to do a follow-on to that extend grace generously because there's kind of a dark side, there's kind of a downside. So last week I talked about extending grace liberally, making that a way of life, making that a habit, and the fact that the time when we most need to do that is in fact the time when people least deserve it. But there's a bit of discretion that we need to exercise when it comes to extending grace, because extending grace does not mean that we should allow ourselves to be walked on, certainly does not mean that we should allow ourselves to be abused. So we need to discern, we need to differentiate between somebody who's maybe just having an off day and someone who is a habitual offender, for whom being ungracious or taking advantage or abusing people or talking down to people is a way of life. And I want to think about, in relation to that kind of person, the fact that we should not be enabling that kind of behavior. Extending grace, it is not actually gracious to enable someone else's abuse or bad behavior. And in fact, there are times when to be gracious calls upon us to confront with grace, to graciously confront, to do a caring confrontation. Because the most gracious thing that we can do for someone in certain situations is to lovingly confront them about ways that they need to change their behavior. So think about caring confrontation as part of your arsenal, your repertoire of extending grace generously, and to make sure that you're not allowing yourself to be walked on or abused, and not enabling someone to take advantage of that in an unhealthy way. So today's assignment is to think about that in your life. Who are the people who need you to extend grace to them in the form of a caring confrontation?